make this super quick because my other half is locked in the other room, so I can talk to you guys without the awkwardness. That is good coffee. You know, I always thought that one of my first video ever would be some kind of care tips video about caletheas, because I thought I've had caletheas for over a year now and it looked like I had my poo together. They were still doing great, you know, so I thought it would be about caletheas and how to maintain them, keep them happy. But lately, so until I get all these caca back together, it is time for the not related at all actual subject of the video. And for that, we're gonna need a little bit of an upgrade. So that is way too much sphagnum moss for what I actually need to do. So without any further ado, welcome aboard, ladies and gentlemen. It is currently 16 degrees Celsius and 60% humidity in here. My name is Margot and welcome aboard this video in destination to the Monstera Mania eShop / Remoss with me video. Hit it! Okay, so I feel like this is a little bit of a disclaimer time before we start this video. This is a non-sponsored video. I am not paid by Monstera Mania to advertise them or their shop or anything. I genuinely think that they are a good shop, and from what I gathered, they are very passionate about what they do, and I know a lot of people are looking to get their hands on variegated Monstera lately, so I thought this was a good opportunity for me to talk about a shop that I know and that I trust. So I was just hanging out on the internet, shall we say, losing myself into the darkness of Facebook plant trades, and I stumbled across this person who bought a cutting of variegated Monstera, and you know, in the comments people were asking her where she found it, and she mentioned Monstera Mania, so I thought, this might be, you know, this might be a good thing to look at. Like, I never thought I would ever buy a Monstera Deliciosa anytime soon, because we live in a tiny-ish flat. I mean, it's not tiny, but we already have so many plants. I'm looking at Hobo over here, if you don't know who it is. Hobo is a huge yucca tree that I rescued from the streets in front of my work, and it is the biggest plant we have, and he is basically going to be the only huge plant we're going to have in this flat. So, and knowing how big a Monstera can grow, I always thought, I don't see ourselves having one of them anytime soon. I don't think this is realistic, but I still research things that I can't buy. So I follow this eShop on Instagram because I thought to myself, I'm gonna, you know, keep the address, and whenever I have the space and the money and the time or whatever, or like the urge of having one of these plants, I know where to get it. I know that somebody already bought a cutting and she was very happy, and obviously she received her cutting, and Destiny brought them in Paris. It was a bit unfortunate because we had some massive strikes in Paris, well, in all of France, but I think Paris was the worst place to be at this time of the year, because all the public transportations basically stopped. So I thought, that is such a shame, because I'm sure they've organized it so well, and they probably, you know, they rent the place, and it's always a bummer, like you don't know if anyone is gonna go. I told my boyfriend, let's take the bike, pay them a visit, have a little chat with them, and I really want to see, you know, I want to see if the plants are good. They were advertising very big and well variegated plants, and I thought, oh my god, this is they look so professional, I want to go. So we asked them if it was okay to record, and they said yeah, of course. So the guy who runs this e-shop basically quit his job in Paris to move to the Netherlands with his wife and started to grow variegated Monstera, which if you ask me is a pretty big upgrade in terms of life quality, because I would love to be paid to spend my entire day walking around in a plant nursery. Hence why my place at work is starting to turn into a little jungle. I mean, of course it's a shop, it's a business, but it's always nice to see that the people who are selling you the products or the plants are actually passionate about what they do, what they grow. They know, you know, to grow only one kind of plant, you kind of have to be passionate about it, because otherwise I don't see the point. Bear in mind that now they are winding up the range of plants that they are selling. I know they now got into Philodendron verrucosum, pink princess, white princess, and I've seen them advertising variegated Monstera adansonii in their Instagram stories. I think they have a picture of it in their Etsy shop, and in their Etsy shop now, my god, this is so hard to say, in their Etsy shop right now. So, you know, it's even more of a reason, I think, to keep an eye on them. So anyway, we were in this shop surrounded by many different kind and size of variegated Monstera. In this shop you could go and ask for the cuttings to be made in front of you, which was really nice. They had a stock of plants that were full, and you would buy the whole plant as a whole, and then they had some other plants further away where you basically decided where you wanted, which plant's cutting you wanted. Obviously you couldn't ask for like a 5,000 leaves cuttings. It's 2-leaf cuttings usually, but you know, it's always nice to actually see the plant where it's coming from, so you can have a rather good idea of, you know, the evolution of the plant through the year. What if the variegation is stable, if it looks like it's not really stable, all these kind of thing. You can choose the amount of white that you want in it, because as pretty as white looks, it's not always super healthy for the plant. Like, I know I wouldn't go for full Albo cutting because there is no chlorophyll in the leaf, which will eventually bring the cutting to a certain depth. So long story short, choosing your own cutting is very good, but it's always nice to physically see what's going on. Like, okay, it exists, it's here, and then after that you order from them, and you know, I find it reassuring to know who I'm buying from, basically. Their Etsy shop is pretty well laid out. I know that if you're looking for an Albo, a variegated Monstera, it goes from 50 euros for cuttings with 2 leaves to 235 euros, I think, for like a very well variegated mature plant. I think it could seem expensive, but it's pretty much the prices of the market right now. And if you compare it to the US, I believe we are having it good in Europe so far, because you can pay $100 for a 1-leaf cutting over there, I believe, if I'm not completely wrong. So, you know, I believe Monstera has pretty good price. My coffee is getting cold. Gotta stay hydrated. Look at my gut. Isn't it cute? Kinda looks like I'm drinking his brain, no? So anyway, now comes the time to Remoss with me. So, here's the pot. here is the cutting that I got. I got this, I believe, in October. It hasn't rot, but it hasn't really been doing much yet. So I didn't have sphagnum moss, so what I did so far was, so it's here, first of all, here you have the variegation. I'm really hoping that's coming up good. I mean, that is a bit damaged, but it's fine, it's really fine. Plus I was cycling, so I believe this is because I got it in a carrier bag in the back of my bicycle, and basically that is never doing great for your plants. But so far so good. So I got this cutting, and what I did so far, because I didn't have any sphagnum moss, is that I wrapped this guy in kitchen paper, which I wet regularly. I check that it's not too wet so the roots don't rot, because what I did first is I put this guy in a huge water container, and I'm always very scared of water propagation, because I know there is a huge risk of root rot. And this is basically what happened to me. There was a root that was starting to come out really well, and it rot. Because I'm going to remoss this guy, hoping that the root system is going to develop even more. But this guy already came with one root. Now, I wasn't sure if it was an aerial root or if it was an actual root, if that makes any sense. So I'm going to show it, and I'm going to remoss it. But if in the comment, let me know if you think that my cutting is ready to go in soil already. I might do the transfer this spring, because it's coming up very soon. If not, I will just leave it in moss for quite a while and hope for it to not rot, and hoping to keep it alive. So let's remoss this guy together. So what I did is I packed this guy in a plastic bag, and I made sure, I actually rewrapped this guy not long ago, so I might not have done this time. I had left, I usually leave a little hole here, hoping this is coming out, so that the humidity can still evaporate, so it's not a totally closed environment. I'm really scared of rot, can you tell? So I'd rather respray the kitchen paper more often than just keeping it closed, not seeing what's going on, forgetting about it, because I forget a lot, girl's got a life, huh? And, one day unwrapping it and finding out it's completely dead. I don't want to screw this. Now I have one of these cuttings. So, there we go. So here is, no. Okay, that is a bit of a drama, because the one big root is rotten. The root rot that happened, that I actually found out on the spot with you guys. I can't stress this enough. They gave me a very good cutting. They really did. There was a big root and a couple, I think 3 other roots shooting out. Now it's only 2 roots shooting out. 2 of them rot. One of them rotted when I was water propagating it. This is really hard to say. So I took it out immediately, and the other one, the big root, actually rotted in the plastic bag, and I know this is completely my bad, and it is not because the cutting was not viable. I had no idea this video would take such a dramatic turn. Jesus. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is, I've got my cutting knife here. I'm going to sterilize it. I'm going to cut here. gonna cut here and seal it with wax and moss it up, and fingers crossed this is gonna survive because I do not want to lose this thing. Damn it. Damn it. So here it is. Here is my cutting repotted. We sealed. I had to ask my boyfriend to come in because that was an emergency, definitely an emergency situation. So what I did is I cut the big root because there was no point keeping it. I'm so bad. I'm so bad. I'm so pissed at myself. Actually, I'm really pissed at myself for not having kept an eye closer on it. But anyway, so what we did is we put a little candle wax at the. I cut the rotting bit. Here you can see that's where the big root was, and I had sealed it already, but I guess I didn't do it well and it started to rot. That, if anything, this shows you that if you take a cutting, try to have enough stem of the plant away from the node, so if you start getting root rot you can always cut and still have the node intact, and you can still have hope of roots growing out of it, you know. So what we did is I cut it with a sterilized knife. I know that my knife actually looks really bad, but I burned it with a lighter to sterilize it, and I cut it. And then I asked my boyfriend to come in to help me seal it with wax because I couldn't do it myself. And I've put it in it's full sphagnum moss now, so I hope this is gonna be cozy enough for it to grow. But anyway, I know that this took a rather dramatic turn, but long story short, if you're looking for a variegated Monstera, Monstera Mania is there. I will leave a link to the Etsy shop because I still believe that they are really good. And if you're looking for a Monstera, maybe you can buy a fully rooted plant. I took a cutting because I really couldn't afford for now, for the space, for the money. It was not a priority, so I didn't take a full rooted plant. Maybe that would have been a better option for somebody like myself who's not super skilled at propagating. I'm good at keeping plants alive and making them thrive. I'm not really good at propagating. There's another leaf that's starting to come out, so please cross your fingers for me. I hope this guy survives. So that's it. I believe we have landed. We almost crashed, but I believe we ended up having some turbulence, but we ended up landing it smoothly. I will keep you updated on, if you want to. My Instagram is Allo la terre ici des plantes. It's in French, I know. I will post updates of how this whole experience turned out. And yeah, I hope to see you come back soon. And remember, be lovely, don't be a big D.